Now you may think I'm crazy. Well, at least some people do, if you don't. Because I have an unconventional job in which I grow food and try to inspire others to do the same. I also live in an unconventional house. I live here in a yurt with my pregnant wife and 3 kids. And on top of that, we also homeschool, which is unconventional. Well, at least prior to 2020, before most people started trying to homeschool these days. It's been pretty unconventional. And even for my wife and I, before we started homeschooling our kids, it was unconventional for us too. Because we, growing up, went through the public school system and we weren't homeschoolers. So as we're trying to figure out, working through this first generation here that we're working with in our family of homeschoolers, it's been quite an adventure. Now, I'm not trying to offend any of you who have children in public schools. However, for my wife and I and our experience in the public school system, we were like, we don't want our children to have that experience. It was bad then, and it's a lot worse now. And besides, we wanted to have a more conducive environment for our children to learn our family values and traditions. And we also wanted to both be involved in our children's learning. We believe in the biblical instruction to diligently teach your children. And we take that seriously. And as we have been homeschooling, it has been a learning lesson for not only the children, but also for us too. When I first started getting involved with the children's learning, I tried to duplicate public school by making it too strict.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, teacher.
Our first class this morning is math at 7 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, PE. 9 o'clock, language arts. 10 o'clock, PE again. 11 o'clock, history. 12 o'clock is lunch if you're not behind in your work. And then at 12:30, science. So eat fast. Open your books to page 53.
So thankfully, my wife said, we don't want to duplicate public school at home. That's not the goal. So we definitely don't want to have the ultra rigid style of homeschooling. But on the other end, we didn't want and we don't want the unstructured free-for-all that some others have.
Whoa! It's stuck. We're gonna tie him and tie him and tie him. Here we go.
Definitely not. No. Actually, I know some of them that don't even believe in correcting their kids and telling them no for anything. And from time to time, we get questions asking how we homeschool our children. Well, we strive for balance, and our focus is on character, work ethic, reading, and math. And with those, especially focusing on those on the early years, it will equip them to be lifelong learners that can be self-guided in learning anything. Not just individuals who can memorize something and regurgitate it for a test, no, but to be people who learn how to do something, do it, and can even master it if they desire to. Because even as a parent, our goal isn't to raise them to be adult children, no, but to be mature adults that can be contributing members of society. And a big part of our homeschooling style includes chores. Chores are so important. Chores teach delayed gratification, responsibility, help with self-esteem, ownership, and also equips individuals to learn how to deal with frustration and adversity, because those kind of things happen when you have to manage things, especially managing animals on a farm. Even during their first year of life, the children got involved in the chores. I would put them in the ergo carrier, strap them on, and then go around and do my chores. And while they were out there with me, they would see and hear and experience being out there doing chores. And then as they would get a little bit older, you start involving them in things such as helping feed and give water to the animals. And then start helping out with doing things like gathering eggs.
You don't even need me to hold it up for you. You got it all by yourself.
2 eggs down here. This is a sweet egg.
Yeah, it looks cool, doesn't it?
That's a really good one. Chickens are a really good one to have for children in chores. And then as they get a little bit older, they can start doing things like working with the larger animals, milking them and providing them with feed.
She's afraid of the fence. Open up more.
And whether you live on a homestead or not, chores of all kinds can be beneficial to a child's learning, whether there be inside chores or outside chores. And similar to the chores, our children also learn on the homestead from growing their own food, processing animals, farm projects, and other tasks that happen within our family business. But in addition to chores and farm projects, our children also do bookwork.
For our bookwork, I really enjoy having workbooks that have lessons, plans already done. I personally do not have the personality to lesson plan every week, and it's just not my thing. I really have enjoyed using workbooks from The Good and the Beautiful. I have used workbooks from other curriculums and they just weren't as engaging for the kids. Or you have to also use the computer and it's like back and forth. And I just needed something I could pick up and say, hey, what day are we on? You know, what's the last lesson we did? And let's go to the next lesson and start from there. These just make homeschooling so much easier. I know a lot of people think that they can't homeschool because they're not a teacher, they don't have a teaching certificate, but when you really look at it, like, we teach our kids all the time and we can do it. Anybody can do it. All you have to have is a willing, open mind and a good work ethic. If you get to a point where, you know, you're doing calculus or something that's out of your realm of knowledge, it's really easy to tap into resources to provide that for your children if that is what they need at the time. But we're really focusing on, like Mike said, the character and the things that you really need to know and make you a well-rounded person to live in this world and be a functional adult.
Besides, with the internet, anyone can learn almost anything or find someone who is able to help them with just basically about anything. So there's a lot of resources that are out there these days.
And another thing people worry about with their children being homeschooled is the socialization. They're like, well, our kids won't be socialized if they don't go to public school. Well, that's just not true. Like, our kids go with us everywhere and we make sure that they know how to function in society and talk to people. They order their own food when we go to restaurants. They go with Mike whenever he has business dealings with restaurants ordering food from us. They are put in multiple scenarios where they have to actually talk to adults. And I've seen a lot of, school kids that they won't even look at an adult and talk to them. All they do is talk to kids their own age, and those are the only people they can really relate to. So they don't even talk to anybody else. So I want to debunk that whole socialization thing, because our kids, they'll go and they'll talk to just about anybody.
Now, I will say you have to be intentional about it. You can't go living like a hermit and expect your children to come out with social skills like Tony Robbins or Zig Ziglar or something like that. You definitely have to be intentional about it, and we are. We try to make sure that we don't stay in bondage to the homestead, that we never leave here. We try to go to conferences and different things where we are also learning, because at any age you should be a lifelong learner. And during these times we try to make them not only educational but also fun. And earlier this year, we actually rented a camper van and traveled cross country to Utah, where we were able to see a salt mine. And the kids were able to learn where salt actually comes from.
This is the start of level 5. Level 5 is our deepest spot in the mine. We've just started. You can see this tunnel only goes down to there, and this side goes down that far.
Hey, Micah. It's all salt. Is it salt? Yes, it's salt. Can I lick it? Lick it. Good. Oh, this is salt. The floor, everything, the ceiling. I'm walking on salt. Everything is salt.
Hey, look, come here.
What you ladies doing over here?
Picking out salt.
Yes.
They got taking pictures of
Got
salt.
some neat pieces. Oh, that one's huge. That's pretty cool. You ladies adding to your collection over here?
Yes.
We love
Check this
it.
one out right
I
here.
want to get a big boulder.
See that one?
Miss Stacy said the guy said the darkest ones are like the edible ones.
Oh, really?
Now that's not going to be much minerals.
So the light ones are not the good ones.
No.
You're coming down, you're just seeing the wall and it all looks the same color. But if you actually look at like some of these rocks here, like see the black in that one?
Yeah, that's what you want.
The black is the manganese. See how it's just a couple specks in there, but the rock actually looks black or gray? That's one of the minerals that's in this salt, and it's manganese. That's the most sought after salt by professional chefs in the world.
Well, that's cool.
You like that one? That's not as good. You don't want that one. Do you want that one?
Want that one, Micah? What'd you say? Found a good one for you.
So my son comes down and he collects all the black rocks and he takes them home and puts them in a salt grinder, and that's what he cooks with.
What do you say?
Thank you.
You bet. So if you look at some of these other ones, you have your blacks, your reds. There's 65 trace minerals in this salt. So this is just different minerals, whether it's manganese or any one of the other 65 trace minerals that's in it.
Guys, look down there. There were so many neat things to see in there that even the cameras really didn't do it justice, especially how dark it was down there. They just really weren't able to capture everything like we were able to see it firsthand.
The haul truck will come over here and dump. This loader will take the rock and dump it in that screen shaker. Anything that's under the size of a 6-pound rock or smaller will go out this end as just a discharge pile. They can take that and still run it through the crusher for road salt. This is for trophy rock. This is horse rock, the 6-pound rock. If you guys have heard of rock on a rope, that's rock on a rope. So instead of a guy just sitting there separating each rock, and when we go up to the surface, I'll show you, because they still separate it by hand, but the rock has just blown up as far as how many people, and we're shipping it everywhere, that we couldn't have enough guys to separate it.
You're glowing in the dark, glowing in the dark. I feel it in my heart. You're glowing in the dark, glowing in the dark. Yeah, you're glowing in the dark.
You ready to come back to the light? Here we go. Here's the light.
This is
We have light. Also on that trip, we got to see the Grand Canyon for the very first time. So instead of learning about it from a book or on a screen, we all got to see it firsthand. Go over here. Whoa. It's like as you're looking at it, it's like it's so big. It's like my mind has trouble comprehending the size that it's seeing through these eyes.
Yeah, exactly. We were going to the North Rim, but it was still closed for the season, so we had to drive all the way around to the South Rim.
And while we were at the South Rim, there was this one point where it was like the Grand Canyon just opened up and it was almost like a panorama view. And recently, we had another big trip that we traveled out to South Dakota to keep the Feast of Tabernacles with a lot of other people who homeschool and share a lot of the same beliefs and values that we have. And as we're traveling out there, it's so neat. I just love taking big trips every now and then. I wouldn't want to do it all the time. Definitely not one to do the van life ongoing. But every now and then it's nice just to drive way out somewhere. Just to take time to talk together as we're traveling. And to take time just to think about various things of life. And to look at the different terrain that is out there. And as we're traveling out there, Josiah's been reading the Lewis and Clark books. And just think about how people during those time periods would have to travel way out there and not have these highways and have to go up and down and around hills and various terrain. Just to think about them as we're heading past these areas so easily. And while we were out there, we tried to do a number of educational experiences, like visiting Mount Rushmore. Josiah really enjoys reading history and things about old presidents. Do you remember who all is on Mount Rushmore?
Teddy Roosevelt, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Abraham Lincoln.
Wow, couldn't have done better myself. Do you also remember running up all those stairs as we were getting a closer view?
Yep.
Don't trip. Don't trip. Come on, we can do this. There we go. It is. There's a good view up here. Wow. That's pretty cool. Wow.
Those are the rocks that they blasted off the mountain to make small places.
Wow. A lot of rocks. Can you imagine doing all that work? Man.
Be a lot.
So Sayla, what was your favorite experience that we had at South Dakota?
I'd say going to Bear Country.
Bear Country?
Yep.
Bear Country Park is a drive-through zoo, and we really like any type of animal encounters that we can get. You think that's crazy because we always see farm animals, but we don't see animals like these. Bear Country has a lot of different animals. They have elk, reindeer, wolves. They look like our lazy dog come today, just hanging out.
Beautiful right now.
Mountain lions. My favorite, bighorn sheep.
Big guys. They may be brothers.
Like they've been fighting those.
Yeah.
I like those. Yeah.
Don't leave a dent.
And it's called Bear Country for a reason, because they have a lot of bears. Wow, that's crazy, all those bears up there.
There's a bunch of bears.
Wow.
You're like right outside.
Wow.
It's like a fat little
He
thing.
is, he's fatty. He's intimidating.
Hi, Winnie the Pooh.
been heat.
No.
Oh, they also had bison, and one of the baby's calves started licking the van.
It sure did. Oh, it's right here. He wants to come in with me.
It's licking the side of the van. I wonder if there's salt on the van.
That's cool.
Oh, so cute. Let's see pronghorn.
That is funny. Hey.
I'm looking at his mom.
So Micah, what was your favorite animal at bear country?
The bear cubs.
Yeah, they were cute, weren't they?
Yes.
They were. They were all climbing the tree, vying for position. And there was this one cute little brown one. And I don't know, it just reminded me of Micah.
Yeah, they were cute, weren't they?
Bears are up in the tree.
Where at? Oh wow, let's go see it.
Bear cubs.
Well, they are way up there in the tree. Is that neat to see them way up there like that?
Yeah. Oh, there's a black bear right there. A little black bear. No, a brown bear. King of the tree.
Look at them down on the ground. And another neat experience that we had out there was seeing the Badlands. Previously, I wasn't really familiar with them, but going out there and seeing that area was absolutely amazing.
It's really cool out there. You feel like you're in a totally another world because it doesn't look like anything that we're used to.
What do you think of that, Josiah? It's pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Man.
It looks like mountain goat or doll sheep were there.
How do you know that? What is that?
You know what it is.
How's it look out here to you?
It's beautiful. It's so neat to see different parts of the country and the landscape.
Just amazing.
It is.
And once again, we got to see one of my favorite animals, the bighorn sheep. This time they were out in the wild and up close to our van once again.
I used to think ghosts were crazy when we...
Man, I sure would like to have one of those sheep here on the homestead. But not only do these experiences provide educational opportunities for our homeschoolers, they're also educational for me and my wife, as well as time that we get to share and spend and bond together as a family. And thankfully, we've been blessed with some farm helpers that we feel comfortable leaving our place, and they take care of it and do an excellent job while we're away, so that way we can leave from time to time. And I do want to encourage my fellow homesteaders and farmers watching this video that you need to get away from your place from time to time and get out and enjoy life. Find a farm sitter so that way you can do so. Besides, we don't want to have kids that feel like they don't want to farm because you can never leave the farm. No, we need to have these various experiences. And this video just gives you a little insight in the experiences that we have while we're homeschooling our children. See you next time.